Welcome to my way too early playoff predictions. And I'm going to be making another one of these when the schedule comes out in 2 days or 3 days or whatever. So these are really, I should call it way, way, way too early playoff predictions because in 3 days I'm going to have my way too early playoff predictions with the season schedule coming out and all that. But this is even before that, so this is even more of an unknown. So for the wild card, we have Bengals Ravens. I think this will be a great matchup, just like it always is in the regular season. I have the Ravens winning it. I'm just going to trust their defense more, but it's definitely going to be a shootout. And I think that if the Bengals want to play anybody in the playoffs, I think the Ravens are going to be one of them because they play them 2 times a year. I mean, you can say the same for the Ravens, I suppose. But then we have Washington versus the Cowboys, another division matchup here. I know that a lot of people are going to be shocked with the Cowboys making the playoffs. I think I have two playoff teams in here that are going to shock a lot of people. The other ones, not really, but the Cowboys are one of them. I just have them sneaking in. They're going to get beat by Washington, but I think it will be kind of close. This is a classic Thanksgiving matchup, so it's going to be weird to see this in November or whenever the playoffs start. And then we have Chiefs versus Broncos. I think it's going to another division matchup. Ironically, all of these so far have been division matchups. A low scoring game. I can see it going either way, really. The Broncos almost had the Chiefs in the regular season. I trust the playoff Chiefs a little bit more. I think it's going to be a defensive battle, and the Chiefs are just going to squeak by. And then we have Rams Packers. This is a bit of an upset. I have the Packers winning it. This is also a playoff matchup or even a regular season matchup we get to see quite often, and it's always a pretty good game. So if this happens, I'm sure a lot of people would be excited for it. This is the first upset I have. I have the Packers winning. I think the Rams will actually be better this year. That's why I have them as a 3 seed. But I don't know. It's just I always favor the Packers in these games for some reason. And then we have Texans Chargers, a rematch from last year's playoffs, which was super boring. I have this as another pretty boring match. I mean, the score is 21-24, so that's not completely boring, but I think those are just going to be mostly garbage time points. I think the Chargers are going to control the pace of this game pretty easily, and then the Texans are just going to get a touchdown in like the last, garbage time. So I think the Chargers win this pretty easily. Then another surprise, I have the Falcons winning the division. So this is a playoff matchup from 2017 or 2018 playoffs. And that was a good game. Obviously, these teams are completely different now, but I think it's going to be not a great game. I think the Eagles are going to control it pretty easily. I think we're going to see Michael Penix shine, though. I think that he's going to, especially in the first half of this game, I think it's going to be the Falcons might even be on top. It's going to be like 21-17 or something like that. But the Eagles are going to run away with it in the end. I'm guessing the third quarter, and then the Falcons will get one more touchdown just to make it look a little bit closer than it is. Then we have the divisional round. So I have the Bills as the 1 seed, as you can see, beating the Chargers. I think it's going to be close. The Chargers are going to be a very dangerous team this season. Now I can see them beating the Bills, but I'd always favor the Bills at home because they have the snow advantage, obviously. I don't think the Chargers are a warm weather team. I don't think they're going to be able to handle that. Although there are a lot of Michigan, or Jim Harbaugh coached Michigan, so he knows. But I just think the Bills are going to squeak it out. Then we have Lions Packers, another division matchup here. I think it's going to be very, very close. I don't think the Lions are going to be as good as they were last year, especially in the playoffs. I mean, I do have them getting the 1 seed, but the NFC is pretty shit. So that's not much of an accomplishment. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I'm just going to trust the Lions defense on like a 2-point conversion to stop it. I think the Lions will control the pace of this game. the Packers will come back because the Lions choke, and then the Packers just miss on a 2-point conversion and the Lions win it. That's my prediction. Then we have Ravens Chiefs, always a good matchup. I have the Ravens winning this by 10. I think they should have beat them last year. We've seen the Chiefs just dominate all these teams over and over and over again, and the cycle has to end at some point. And I think this year is the year the cycle ends. Not completely because the Chiefs get the 3 seed, but I think this is going to be just like when the Titans beat the Patriots. I think this is going to be similar. I think this is going to be the end of an era for the Chiefs losing. I mean, they only lost by 10, but things are going to change if they lose, especially in the divisional. And then we have another division matchup. Always a good game between the Eagles and Commanders. I trust the Eagles a little bit more with their experience. I know in the last video I made, I was kind of shitting on the Eagles because of how many players they lost. But when it comes down to the playoffs, I just trust the Eagles a little bit more. I know that the Washington almost went to the Super Bowl last year. I just don't like the matchup for Washington. If Washington plays the Lions, I think they have the advantage. If they play pretty much any other team other than the Eagles, they have an advantage. But I just always would favor the Eagles in these matchups, and that's what I'm going to do again. Then we have the championship. So we have Bills, Ravens. I'm sure a lot of people could have expected this. The outcome, yeah, like I said, Bills' home field advantage is going to be crazy. That's why if the Bills get the 1 seed, everybody's going to be in trouble because everyone's going to have to be playing in the snow. I know some teams won't have a problem with that. Like if the Chiefs play the Bills again, I'd still favor the Bills, but not necessarily because of the weather. In this game, I'm going to favor the weather, though. I'm going to have the Bills winning it. Still going to be close, but I'm just going to have the Bills winning that one. Then we have Lions, Eagles, another good matchup. I'm going to have the Eagles squeaking it out. Man, I think the Lions are going to be running away with this game, and they're just going to choke. Everybody's going to say the Lions are going to do it. It's their year. And then they're just going to do a stupid 4th down, go for 4th and 10 or some shit. And then that's it. The Eagles got back in it. And then the Eagles are going to win it. And then everybody's going to say, oh, the Lions are so stupid. That's my guess. Then we have the Super Bowl. So we have Bills, Eagles. And I have the Eagles repeating the Super Bowl. Not three-peat, because nobody's done that. But, yeah, I think that they're going to repeat as Super Bowl champions, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. I don't mind the Eagles. I'd rather see them win than the Chiefs. But, I mean, good for the Bills. They reached the Super Bowl. But I'm just going to trust the Eagles to win this.